It's our pleasure to welcome Dr. Wayne Wood back on the show for today's Say What. So tomorrow is a very significant anniversary in Jacksonville's history. On May 3rd, 1901, the Great Fire of Jacksonville destroyed an incredible amount of downtown Jacksonville. And Dr. Wayne Wood is going to come here and talk about his book. Hey man, good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you both.
Thank you. Joining us. Okay, yes. So tell us a little bit about the Great Fire of 1901.
Well, the Great Fire of 1901, May 3rd, 1901, it was the biggest event in Jacksonville history. 90% of downtown was wiped out.
Wow.
It was the third largest fire in the history of the United States at that time.
Oh my gosh.
And the flames could be seen all the way glowing in the sky in Savannah.
No way.
A captain of a ship in Miami looked up in the sky that afternoon and saw two sunsets, one in the west and one in the north, and the one in the north was Jacksonville.
Wow, that's crazy.
Insane. Do we know what caused it?
Well, the fire started in a mattress factory in La Villa, if you know where the Ritz Theater is, right across the street from that. And we'll see a picture of the old mattress factory.
Okay.
Is
that it right there?
That's the only known picture of it. And some moss caught on fire and the cinders blew up in the sky. The wind picked up to 15 miles an hour, casting these little cinders and sparks all across the wooden roofs of town.
Right.
And within an hour, the fire was sweeping through the downtown. People moved their belongings out into the streets. It was just like Armageddon. And as the fire swept down the streets, everybody kept running further and further away. And then the fire kept chasing him. It was the disaster of gargantuan proportions. And the afternoon lasted about 8 o'clock. The fire was beginning to be put out, but in that interim, 90% of downtown Jacksonville was destroyed.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Really
and so,
sad.
like, my understanding, Springfield was basically spared because of what, Hogan's Creek?
The fire stopped on the north and the east at Hogan's Creek, and on the river on the south.
That's crazy. Okay, so Wayne, let me ask you, how has Jacksonville been rebuilding after the fire?
Well, after the fire, you would think that people would flee, but instead people started moving to Jacksonville to get a part of the action. Architects, builders, entrepreneurs came, and within 2 years after the fire, there were more buildings in downtown Jacksonville than there were before the fire. And all this new technology, you know, reinforced concrete and steel. Jacksonville, for a brief time, was one of the most modern cities in the world.
Oh my gosh, because they kind of had to be at that point, right? They had to get innovative.
That is incredible. Okay, so there's a monument dedicated to the Great Fire, right? Where's that at?
Yeah, it's on the North Bank Riverwalk in front of the Hyatt. And we put it up in 2001 to commemorate the Great Fire of Jacksonville and the people that died. Luckily, only 7 people died with all that destruction.
Wow, really? That's amazing.
10,000 people were homeless, $20 million in destruction, 2,368 buildings destroyed, and this monument helps remind us of this cataclysmic day. It was the worst day in Jacksonville history, but in some days the best, because Jacksonville rebuilt from the ashes like a phoenix rising.
So are we going to learn more in your book here?
This is the book we did in 2001 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the fire, and it's on sale in most Jacksonville bookstores. And it tells the story of the Great Fire. It's the first and only book written about the Great Fire of 1901.
Wow. It was so fascinating to learn more about that today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Doctor.
So great to be here.
Well, now